friends of the graduates, honored guests, faculty, staff, commencement speakers, graduating seniors, award winners, and PhDs. Welcome to the commencement exercises of the Sociology Department at the University of California at Berkeley. As the department concludes its 75th year in this university, we have over 300 graduating seniors. They arrived here at Berkeley via over 300 different pathways. They leave with at least one thing in common: a shared sociological vision that enables them to see the world as it really is, and thus empowers them to be effective agents of positive change in the many fields to which they will contribute in the future. My name is Sibel Fox, and it is my privilege and pleasure to be the chair of the most fantastic sociology department in the world, the Berkeley Department of Sociology. Joining me on the stage are department faculty and our speakers. I will quickly introduce them. We know you love them, but please reserve your cheering until the end. Try. In the back row on my left are graduate student speakers Martin Eierman and Feng Su, Martine Sanchez-Jankowski, Danya Lagos, Jill Bakhorn, and Joanna Reed. In the front row on my left are keynote speaker Christina Mora, Raka Ray, David Harding, Armando Laramian, Mary Kelsey, and Lale Bebehanian. In the back row on my right are undergraduate speaker Cindy Tang, Christopher Muller, Caitlin Daniel, John Kaiser, and Neil Fligstein. In the front row, on my right, Mar Loveman, Marion Fourcade, Irene Blumrad, Tron Peterson, Kim Voss. Our department is renowned the world over for the accomplishments of our faculty and students. In recent rankings of both U.S. departments of sociology and sociology departments around the world, Berkeley was again ranked number 1. Our faculty have won some of the most prestigious awards in the country, including membership in the American Academy of Arts and Sciences and the National Academy of the Sciences. We also have a former president of the American Sociological Association, who is also a former president of the International Sociological Association. Certainly, the books and articles that our faculty write win major awards. But more important than the awards are the questions they ask and the careful research that helps to illuminate important social issues. We live in challenging times. A pandemic, wildfires, threats to our democracy, and the endurance of racially motivated violence in places like Atlanta, El Paso, and tragically just yesterday, Buffalo, New York. Sociology gives us the tools to understand the world we live in, as well as to change it. Our department's research and teaching urges attention to some of the most compelling questions of our time. How are we to understand the persistence of racism and nativism, the causes and consequences of social and economic inequalities, the contemporary politics of immigration and the experiences of immigrants and their children, the rise of the massive US prison system and its disparate consequences for different individuals, families, and communities. Changes in the labor market and the shift to more and more precarious types of work. The effects of new social media on real-world social organization. The ways that gender is changing in the 20th century. the climate emergency, or the massive social movements and organized reactions to them sweeping the world. However, it's not only the research and accomplishments of our faculty that have brought renown to the department. It is equally the achievements of our students. Berkeley PhDs consistently win awards for their books and articles and shape the sociology departments of colleges and universities across the nation and in other countries. And our BAs populate the ranks of innumerable professions, bringing with them the skills and special perspective of Berkeley sociology. That special perspective is profoundly shaped by the fact that Berkeley is a public university, and it is a public university in the state of California. Look around you and you will see that our graduates and their families reflect much of the magnificent diversity of the people of California. The mission of public universities is simple. It is to educate the qualified children of all the people in the state, to bring the high-achieving sons and daughters of janitors, nurses' aides, and dishwashers into classrooms with the sons and daughters of doctors, lawyers, and community organizers. It's to make higher education accessible to students who are parents, who are differently abled, who are undocumented, who decide to return to school later in life, who may have been formerly incarcerated. The public mission of UC Berkeley profoundly enriches what our students bring to the classroom and what they learn in the course of their university education. As we acknowledge and appreciate what the graduates sitting before you have accomplished to arrive at this day, and to anticipate with excitement all the wonderful things they will contribute to society in the years ahead, I hope that we can pledge to fight to maintain accessible and excellent public higher education for the generations who will follow. In these times, more than ever, we must work together to ensure that the state and the University of California keep its promise to its people. Now, we begin the program today with the Undergraduate Address. Our speaker today is Cindy Chen Tang. Please join me in welcoming Cindy to the podium.
Good morning, graduates, friends, families, faculty, staff, and distinguished guests. It has been a far from linear road to get to where we are today, and in spite of the twists and turns along the way, we made it. You made it. To every individual in Zellerbach Hall this morning, and to those with us online, I commend you for your resilience these past few years. To the graduating sociology class of 2022, congratulations. What a feat it is to not only be graduating from the University of California, Berkeley, but to be doing so as a scholar of sociology. Entering college was much like Emily Dickinson wrote, "I'm nobody. Who are you? Are you nobody too?" I recall driving with a friend prior to coming to Berkeley from Ohio. To get me in the spirit for the next phase of my life, my friend blasted Tupac's California Love as I wondered what the next few years would look like and who I might become. Perhaps like many of you, I entered Berkeley with uncertainties about the future, questions about the world, and a strong desire to learn. Together as a class, we would soon enter Cal, the world of sociology, and eventually ourselves. Just as sociological theories like to take many different turns, our time at Berkeley has had its fair share of its own subtleties and surprises. The COVID-19 pandemic, past and ongoing, caused many of our shared experiences as sociology majors to turn virtual. In my first sociology class in the fall of 2020, I remember sitting at home, back in Ohio, in front of my laptop with dozens of Zoom squares lit up with the faces of peers I did not yet know, my screen split to see both Zoom and my text from Marx, Du Bois, de Beauvoir, and Hill Collins, and Professor Michael Burawoy's voice booming into my headphones as I was thrust into the world of sociological theory. From theory, we learn that everything imagined has been real and that we are never alone in struggle. As we sharpened our tools of thinking about systems and histories, capitalism and inequality, we simultaneously built an incredible community, one that is vulnerable and strong, thoughtful and action-oriented, and so very real despite only being accessible by a screen. From academia, we transcended as a community of sociology scholars to become the actors and doers who we are today. Alongside COVID-19, we witnessed and experienced innumerable news cycles regarding injustice and inequality both locally and globally. Leveraging the tools of sociology, our peers dove into analyzing predictive policing, showed up to the State House to advocate for the rights of the incarcerated, and challenged policies protecting systems that do not protect us, and much, much more. Throughout my time at Berkeley, I have had friends tell me, "Cindy, you've changed." And to this, I respond, "We're supposed to." From a state of nobodyhood, our class of individuals stepped into the roles of thinkers, writers, activists, and change agents. We each did things previous versions of ourselves would not have imagined being able to do. And armed with the tools of sociology, we each became somebody important. Of course, the process of becoming the people we are today did not happen in a vacuum. To each person who played a role in this journey for you, for me, my mom, my dad, my sister, friends, teachers, and mentors, thank you for your guidance, challenge, perspective, and love. Whether in the higher education institution or beyond, our class of sociologists has been equipped with the theoretical and real tools to continue, challenge, and change not only the field of sociology, but the world at large. We have all become an integral part of this incredible community at Cal, and soon today, we'll become graduates of this institution, the University of California, Berkeley. Congratulations again to the graduating sociology class of 2022. The best is yet to come, and as always, go Bears.
Thank you, Cindy. And now our graduate student address will be shared by two of our PhD graduates, Martin Eierman and Feng Su.
Good morning, and good evening to my family watching from Germany, I think. So one of the hardest things about doing a PhD is explaining what exactly it is I actually do all day. Friends would sort of say to me, "I'd love to hear what you're up to," and then as soon as I start talking, their eyes sort of glaze over. And I think a lot of my folks certainly have no idea what I do. I come from a family of blacksmiths and electricians and seamstresses, and the P word usually means potato harvest, not PhD. And so often I just say I spend my days calling everything hugely problematic. And it's a kind of running joke between my wife and I that this language gets you pretty far in a sociology class. But I think there's also some honest truth in it. To practice science is to problematize the world. It's to turn some phenomenon into a problem that deserves to be studied empirically. It's about being critical of our methods and appreciative of our critics, because there's always a chance of being wrong. But it's also true, I think, in a more specifically sociological sense. We look at seemingly natural phenomena and then show them to be complex social facts. And in a world that often demands to be problematized, we also have a good reason for doing so. Not everything that is faced can be changed, James Baldwin wrote, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. And so if we can use the tools of our trade to face up to the world, to problematize the visibility of some and the invisibility of others, to explain why things are the way they are and perhaps should not always remain this way, that to me is an honest day's work. Now, the danger of this is that it becomes too self-referential, that we get so caught up in these highly specialized questions we study as to lose sight of the world, and we end up talking in a language that nobody outside this room will really understand. And so the question is, who's going to yank us out of our cave? Our friends can do it, our family, our peers, but for me, it's also always been the experience of teaching, because it forces me to explain things that I would otherwise take for granted, and because it allows me to witness how you, the undergraduates, make use of the tools that sociology provides. And so let me just tell you one final quick story. A couple of years ago, I taught social theory for Professor Muller over here. And these courses, these theory courses, they tend to skew sometimes towards scholars who are very male, very white, and very dead. And so they raise this question with a non-obvious answer. Are these works useful for the kinds of problematizing that many of you are doing today? And so this one time when class ends, these two students, they linger behind. And one of them comes up to me and says, well, Martin, we wonder if you have 10 or 15 minutes. I say, sure, what's up? Well, he says, we've been thinking about the readings, about social structure, about the appropriation of labor, and that this stuff is really quite relevant. And so if you have some time, maybe we can talk a little bit more about it. And I was sort of a bit flustered and said, well, you want to talk about class after class? But they wanted to do it, and so I said, sure, why not? And they both happened to be on the football team. Now, I don't know much about American football, but I know that these students were absolutely fantastic because they opened the door and in walks what feels like half the offensive line of the Berkeley football team. And for the next 15 minutes or so, they were taking big ideas, problematizing them, adding to them, and using them to frame their own experiences. I don't know how many places exist where those moments can happen organically, but I'm pretty sure there aren't that many. And I am beyond grateful to have been at one of those places. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So when Martin asked me to be the commencement, my primary concern was, will I be able to see over the podium? Hence the stool. You see, compared to Martin, who is 6'3" and commands attention, I still get asked by the TSA, traveling alone or with a parent. So while I do, in fact, travel by myself, in terms of the roads I take in life, I've often been accompanied by family. But family isn't the easiest. Family can make you regress back to the 8-year-old you. Family lands you in therapy. And immigrant families, they're a pickle. You see, in my immigrant family, we don't say, I love you. We show it in passive-aggressive ways. For example, eat more food, you're too skinny, translates to, I care about you, followed by a plate of fruit that you did not ask for. As a first-generation immigrant child from a working-class background, getting a PhD isn't easy. Often, you feel like a walking assemblage of scars, like that baby that's crying. You're stitched together by tenacity and belligerence. When you enter an institution that wasn't created with you in mind, it is a process where you peel away the layers of yourself until all that is left is a flattening out of your differences. So, whenever I near a point where I think, maybe in order to succeed in academia, I should soften the rough edges of my biography, I see my parents. I see their struggles and their sacrifices. I see how they navigate a world where they don't know the language, a world that labels them foreigner because to be American is to be white, where as garment workers, they put in 16-hour workdays to make sure that their kids' basic needs are met. I see how the only marker of the passage of time is in their lush black hair steadily turning white, even as they labor in the same job day in and day out. And importantly, I see how their experiences are not my own. Their sacrifices have made that a reality. And I'm reminded of Broken English, a poem by Rupi Kaur, of a specific verse about immigrant parents that goes like this. They turned a suitcase full of clothes into a life and regular paychecks to make sure that children of immigrants wouldn't hate them for being the children of immigrants. Insights from my family's experiences have carried me throughout the PhD. They're also the same ones I keep as travel companions into academia, where I will encounter others with similar life stories, stories that remind us of why we should celebrate rather than flatten out our differences. And now, to make sure that my words can reach the ones I wrote this speech for, muốn lấy câu hỏi này để cảm ơn ba Tài mẹ. Tại vì sự hy sinh của ba Tài mẹ, Thảo có thể đến ở đây hôm nay và lấy được bằng tiến sĩ này. Cảm ơn ba Tài, cảm ơn mẹ. Happy graduation to all the immigrant families out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin and Feng, for those powerful and touching words. And it is now my pleasure to introduce the keynote speaker, Professor Christina Mora. Christina is a beloved faculty member in our department and the co-director of the Institute of Governmental Studies. Before joining the faculty in 2011, she received her PhD from Princeton University and was recognized by the American Sociological Association with the Best Dissertation Award. She's also an alumna of our department, having received her bachelor's degree in sociology from Berkeley. Her research focuses mainly on questions of census, racial classification, immigration, and racial politics in the United States and Europe. Her book, Making Hispanics, provides the first historical account of the rise of the Hispanic, Latino, pan-ethnic category in the United States. This work, along with related articles, has received wide recognition, including the Early Career Award from the American Sociological Association. Making Hispanics has also been the subject of several NPR and national media segments on census politics and Latino identity. Professor Mora has played an integral role in pushing our campus to become an HSI, or Hispanic Serving Institution. And her many efforts to improve diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging at Cal were recently recognized when she was awarded the prestigious Chancellor's Award for Advancing Institutional Excellence and Equity. We are honored that Christina is here to deliver the Department of Sociology Commencement Address.
So Chair Fox, fellow faculty, staff, parents, family, friends, and graduates, good morning and congratulations to the UC Berkeley Sociology graduating class of 2022. You did it. So, there's a secret note. It sits in my office. It's not a secret anymore because now you all know about it. Even though I don't think I ever told a soul about it, much less have never shown it to anyone else. In fact, it's taped on the inside of a desk drawer, so only I can see it. I'll show it to you one day when I look for it. It was slipped under my office door about 4 years ago now. Handwritten, in pencil, on a plain white note sheet. I've turned to it a few times now, especially in those moments when I feel just absolutely exhausted and sometimes defeated. See, like many of us here in this room, I wear just so many different hats. And for me, many of these hats are uncharted territories and need me to constantly, quickly learn to be and act in new spaces, around new people, and new events seemingly all the time. See, I'm the very first person in my family to have graduated college. My father, Crescencio, is in the audience now, worked in the fields in Central California. Hi, Dad. He worked in the fields of Central oh, there he is. He worked in the fields of Central California alongside his bracero father, and my mother, Maria, she's there too. Worked in factories most of her youth and adult life, never actually given a chance to realize her dream of graduating high school, though she would, without fail, come to instill in me a lifelong love of reading. So I've had to learn how to be a researcher, a writer, a public intellectual, an administrator, a teacher, a mentor, an academic activist, all on my own, while blazing a new path in my ancestral lineage. And I'm also a single mother to two amazing children. They're here too, Adela and Camilo. Who give me oh so much light and demand oh so much energy. So much. And I'm also the daughter of immigrants and one of the only ones in my family with a retirement and savings plan that I manage for all of us across the generations. So many hats, so many roles, and sometimes so much exhaustion and even the feeling and question of whether I'm doing anything right at all. And if I'm in my office in these feelings, I sometimes turn to this note because it helps to combat some of this stuff. It cuts through the noise. See, the note says, "Thank you," with 3 exclamation points. You practically saved my life. And it came just hours after a meeting in my office. Now, just to let you know, the person that wrote the note is fine right now and is laser focused on forging a successful career path. But when I received the note, I was a bit confused. See, it came not after a major conversation, the kind that require professional intervention or that are about life emergencies. Many of us here on this stage know exactly what those students' meetings look like and how those conversations can go. No, there wasn't a major emergency or a life trauma that we discussed that day. In fact, the note came after what I would have considered a more or less routine conversation, simply about the importance of seeing a big task, in this case, managing a major final paper, and breaking it down into small, doable goals throughout the semester. More broadly, the conversation turned to goal setting, time management, and the courage it takes for us to really believe that something taken on in repeated small incremental steps can actually really get something done. That these small steps can actualize bigger goals, even if you've never had to write a long research paper before, even if you are the first in your family to be here at Cal, and even if no one ever told you you'd be sitting here and graduating one day. These small steps can be a lifeline. So when I got this note, handwritten, in pencil, on a plain white note sheet, I sat in a bit of disbelief. And then I remember just saying a little prayer and giving thanks to the universe. See, because sometimes our impact is more than we could have ever imagined. Sometimes our purpose still shines brightly through our exhaustion. Sometimes we are doing the very exact right thing we should be doing, even when we are living and breathing and moving with self-doubt in uncharted territory. So as I look at you all, many of you also the first in your family to graduate college, some of you also the children of immigrants, and many more of you eager to understand how you can live your life in a way that can make a real social change. I guess the first thing I want to say is to have you remember how impactful even the most routine moments can be, the small moments where you take the time to empathize and pair encouragement with actual steps forward can be more meaningful to others than you would have ever imagined. Okay, so usually sociologists write their articles and books in ways that often break down their arguments into 3 main parts. So that means I have 2 more sort of lessons to leave you with this morning. And the second is simply this: build and nurture your people. See, in my book, friendship and community are verbs. I'm from Los Angeles, specifically the Pacoima area. And if anyone knows anything about the East Side, they know it's not really a place that readily sends kids to elite universities, much less UC Berkeley. Growing up, Pacoima was practically all brown. Diversity was often what part of Mexico your parents came from. And I remember that being at Berkeley often felt, oh, so very lonely. Not simply because this place was not reflective of folks like me and much of California, but also because the campus and everything around me felt so completely foreign. Sometimes it felt like I just didn't belong. And so the only way I got through Berkeley was by forming and nurturing a community. I was lucky enough to find those who would grow with me over 4 years here. The same would happen again when I'd move across the country to Princeton, where I felt even more isolated and things seemed even more foreign. And see, this is what can happen. As you grow in your careers and into your eventual amazingness, it will probably become more and more lonely at the top. And you will risk feeling isolated and suffocated by all that and all that it brings. I've felt this even here, sometimes even now. In fact, not many of you know this, but Latinas are only 2% of tenured professors in the US, 2%. And the number of women of color professors, even here, in this flagship university, in the nation's most diverse state, is incredibly low overall. Yeah. But the thing that has always saved me is community building. And this to me means building friendships in multiple spaces. It means actively reaching out and caring for others. The community that I have built here, many of them are on this stage and many more are off of it, including my family, has given me strategic advice, has shown me how to balance work and life, has listened to my deepest insecurities, and has even helped to heal my heart. All with genuine compassion and a mutually shared love. They have also conspired with me to build a better university, have inspired me to speak when things seem off, and provided a profound example of how to lead with purpose. I continue to be here not because of career opportunities or the ability to move up the ranks, but because of the many beautiful moments I've had with the diverse community I've built. So please, don't just focus on networking. Sure, yes, of course, do that too, but also make sure that as you go about your busy lives, to build your people, reach out to others, create a community, work at it. Because it will be hard sometimes and oh so confusing to be in your 20s and 30s and surround yourself with those that will help to breathe life into your goals, your dreams, and your next steps. So finally, a third lesson. And it's simply this. Find a way to step into your own importance. So I've been thinking a lot about balloons lately. Big, red and yellow imaginary balloons that hold my writer's block, but also my doubts and some of the deeper judgments I have about myself that sometimes creep up, in part because I'm from Pacoima and somehow I get to stand here on this stage. I imagine blowing these doubts into a big imaginary balloon, and sometimes they sail away. And sometimes the balloon just sits there and floats just above my head. In fact, I had to imagine a big red balloon when I sat to write this speech, and I wondered if I could do justice to this immense responsibility of seeing you off into the real world with a last bit of Berkeley advice. When I put my thoughts into the balloon, they became suspended. They moved outside of me. And this helped me to just write and focus on the task at hand without social judgment. And being able to just focus on the task and get things done is so very necessary right this minute, especially in this state and in this moment and for this generation. Your classes in sociology this year have taught you about the dire climate emergency we face today, the incredible need we have for racial justice and policing reform, and the way that immigration and health policy, as we know it today, produces immense inequalities, the impacts of which together we will feel for generations to come. And so the world then, of course, so desperately needs Berkeley graduates so very badly at this time to sit at all of these decision-making tables. We need you with your training, your understanding of systemic inequalities, and your ability to dissect our most pressing social problems holistically. We need you in all of these policy and activist spaces to bring your best and steward our collective future. But in order for you to do all of this, to be the change we need in the world we have, you need to be able to step into your role, to step into your importance. And that can be tough. It can be tough to see yourself as a leader or to believe that you know enough or to understand that you can make a difference, especially when the world of politics, academia, medicine, and law look and sound so very little like you or your community. And to be honest, I don't have an answer for you. I don't know exactly how to make each one of you recognize your importance and to feel the urgency to step into your roles as Berkeley graduates and our California future. In fact, one of the main questions students often ask me in office hours are simply, how do you do it? How do you keep going, professor? And how do you manage it all? And they often search in vain for what my example, as a woman, a mom, a first-gen scholar, or even just as a Berkeley alum, can teach them about themselves. And the truth is, I don't have a clear answer for everyone. I mean, look, I have a series of quick responses that range from asking students to not say imposter syndrome, but instead switch the term to institution syndrome, or to develop a journal writing practice, or to meditate, to find balance. And lately, I've been talking a lot about red and yellow balloons that can float just above one's head. But my message is not that this or that practice works, but rather, my message to you is to simply find what works for you. Build a whole repertoire of practices that allow you to focus, to have courage, and to be the bold Berkeley graduates we so desperately need. See, inequality in California has grown exponentially. As we have become more racially diverse, wealth has concentrated into fewer and fewer hands in the state. In fact, right now, California is home to some of the richest zip codes in the nation, while some of its communities still lack libraries, internet access, and even safe drinking water. And if you're from here, you might know that while we're the largest economy in the nation, the 5th largest in the globe, that many of our children still grow hungry, and that our public schools rank in the rock bottom quartile, unable to gather the means, the teachers, books, and facilities to educate with justice. And even here, in the state of the technological future, we have yet to reckon with our racial past and understand that history that undergirds the inequalities we live in right now. And no one will save us. No one will come to help us build a better state if we don't organize and act on this ourselves first. So step into your importance, step into your leadership. Let go of limiting thoughts as best you can. Imagine a balloon if you must. And find the courage to just do what so desperately needs to get done. Okay. Not sure there's so much more I can say. I hope these ideas give you some fuel and help you prepare for the steps ahead. Because life will be unexpected. Your best laid plans could suddenly turn. But when that happens, because it will, lean on your people, Try every trick you have to remember your importance and gather the courage to just show up for those events, big and small. Because one day, even those routine moments might really impact someone else. Whether or not you receive a message, handwritten, in pencil, on a plain white note sheet slipped under your door. Class of 2022, you make us so very proud. You remind us of why we are so very lucky to be at this great institution and do the work that we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina, for that important and inspiring speech. Every one of our graduates here has accomplished a great deal, but we set aside this time to acknowledge some of their special achievements. I'd like to call our award and prize winners to the right side of the stage now. To present the awards, I call upon Professor David Harding.
Each year, the department honors an outstanding graduating senior for overall accomplishment in sociology. This is the highest award we give to an undergraduate student. The committee looks especially at the paper or thesis submitted by qualified students, but also looks at general scholarship and demonstrated excellence throughout the student's entire career at Berkeley. This year's winner is Esperanza Teresa Guadalupe Padilla. Esperanza's thesis is Masking and Unmasking the Spectrum, the Consequences of Camouflaging Neurodiverse Identities. Esperanza, please come forward to receive your award. I'd also like to recognize Laura Lawan Wynn. She received the honorable mention for her exceptional thesis entitled Memory and Meaning Making, Anti-Communism in Vietnamese America. Laura, please come forward to receive your award. Teaching at Berkeley is a partnership between professors and graduate student instructors, whom we call GSIs for short, and others called TAs or teaching assistants. A common arrangement is for professors to lecture twice a week and for GSIs to meet with students an equal number of times in smaller classes to discuss course materials. GSIs also work with students to plan research papers, prepare for exams, and more. Berkeley has many of the finest GSIs in higher education, and I know that each of the graduating seniors will remember one or more outstanding GSIs from their years at Berkeley. Each year, the department and the university recognize a few of the very best ones with the Outstanding GSI Award. This year, we honor 5 students whose names appear in the program. We are very happy that 2 of our awardees are here today, Justin Germain and Emily Ruppel. Justin. Emily is being awarded the Outstanding GSI Award, and she is also here to receive the Herbert Bloomer Prize. This prize is given annually in memory of the founder of our department, Herbert Bloomer. It is given to the best paper written in a field of Professor Bloomer's interests, which include race, collective behavior, and symbolic interactionism. Emily won the award for her paper entitled Disciplining Disability, the State Production of Precarity in Disability Employment Programs. Emily's paper is a novel and creative synthesis of disability studies and the sociology of work. Through a richly documented ethnography, Emily demonstrates how the contradictions of disability as a category of bureaucratic practice channels disabled persons into low-wage and temporary work. The paper worthily carries on Bloomer's tradition of ethnographic research while exploring pressing contemporary issues. Emily, please come forward to receive your Herbert Bloomer Prize and your Outstanding GSI Award. Next, we have the Alumni Prize in Public Sociology. The selection committee received an excellent set of submissions and chose to give the award to Elena Amaya, Tiffany Hamajaya, and Jana Huang, editors of the Berkeley Journal of Sociology. Since 1955, the Berkeley Journal of Sociology has served as a site for critical sociological analyses. Elena, Tiffany, and Jana successfully revamped and relaunched the journal this year, heightening its contribution to the wider societal dialogue while also building a new funding model that will open access to a wider readership.
Thank you, Professor Harding. We now come to the heart and soul of today's event, the awarding of degrees. We start today with the PhD, our highest degree. Today we will honor 13 scholars who have earned our highest degree, the Doctorate in Philosophy. For each of our PhDs, the road to the doctorate has been an impressive journey. Each has completed several years of graduate coursework, researched and written a master's thesis, taken oral examinations, and ultimately embarked on a major original research project. The project was then carried out and analyzed in a dissertation that can run anywhere from 200 to 500 or more pages. The title of each graduate's PhD dissertation is published in the program. The PhD is symbolized by the colored hood of the Doctor of Philosophy. You'll notice that all the faculty members have such a hood. The colors on the hood signify the degree and university from which we graduated. Today, each newly minted PhD will receive the blue and gold hood of UC Berkeley from his or her dissertation committee chair or another faculty member. We now begin the conferral of the Doctor of Philosophy degrees. Will the PhD and MA candidates please stand and line up in the right aisle? Professor Mara Loveman will hand out the scrolls. Martin Eierman, Mara Loveman, Chair. Isabel Garcia Valdivia, Irene Bloomrad, and Sibel Fox, chairs. Tara M. Gonzalez, Raka Ray, chair. Casey Philip Homan, Claude Fisher, chair. Casey is being hooded by Trond Peterson. Stephen William Lauterwasser, Kim Voss, chair. Mati Lichtenstein, Sibel Fox, chair. Nayeli Mahia Becerril. Irene Bloomrad, Danny Schneider, chairs. Nayeli is being hooded by Irene Bloomrad. Santiago Jose Molina, Marion Forcade, chair. Robert Pickett, Mara Loveman, chair. Alicia Miles Shears, Christina Mora, Chair. Shadrach Andrew Small, Neil Fligstein, Chair. Fung N. Su, Raka Ray, Chair. Byron Antonio Villasis Cruz, Marion Fourcade, Chair. Let's have a round of applause for all of our new PhDs. We also confer the master's degrees. Today we recognize 2 recipients of the degree of Masters of Arts, as you can see in the program. MA grads, please come forward when I call your name. Sally Ann Oyelorla Akwete. Nadia Almasalki. Let's have a round of applause for the MA candidates. And now, it is the turn of the undergraduates. I call upon my colleagues to assist in reading the names and distributing the scrolls. Professors Armando Laramian and Joanna Reed will read the names of the graduating seniors. Professors Marion Fourcade and Christopher Muller will hand out the commencement scrolls. Professors Mary Kelsey and Lale Bebehanian will be giving out the gold cords to the honors students. We'll be using the aisles for this part of the ceremony. Will the first row of candidates please stand and line up in the aisle to your right. Everyone else, please remain seated, as it's important to keep the aisles clear.
Wigdan Mora Haun. Brian Rojas. Miguel Marquez. Cheska Torres Ibasan. Folin An Rojas. Francisco Reina. Christopher Johnson. Gsi Pigot. Leslie Are Ano. Z. Lin. Lee. Maria de Leon. Kathleen Kim. Tria Villanueva. Natalie Song. Luna Kohut. Luca Marks. Riley Collins. Kara Madeline Gebhardt. Kaylin Koun Kim. Cindy Chen Tong. Heidi Mendolea. Brittany Quinones. Christina Almanza Gonzalez. Haley Hernandez. Anaí Cruz Bautista. Carla Peña. Briseth Castellanos Islas. Muskan Salim. Danielle Bitten. Kothar Ibrahim. Jack Valentine. Catherine Ann Berenson. Madeline Heron. Salam Suleiman. Queenie Kagang Gaviola. Suzette Quinlan. Tulithu Jones. Chelsea Tana Ogumolo. Melanie Vallejo. Ariana Aguirre. Emma Calvo. Jonah Luis Galvez. Christy Corina Fischel. Kristen. Emily Carcamo. Parth Patel. Shruti Utaswai. Janet Chen. Charlie Abbott. Esteban Benitez. Kirsten Roez Lopez Co. JT Epino. Mateo Tupola Mayer. Elizabeth Schoenfeld. Sarah Zager. Leticia Nancy Camacho.
Angelica Urias. Andrea Lisa Ramirez. Maria Ahmed. Luna Lund. Andrea Valenzuela Sarasua. Clarence Wong. Devin Valcorta. Noreen Howe. Flores Faith Sanchez. Yesenia Gutierrez. Patricia Zelaya Zambrano. Yaren Song. Anehi Pelise. Atalia Juhana. Jordan Edwards. Shiho Uno. Claudia Rios Lira. Jamie Chan. Shushan Song. Emma Tran. Stella Ho. Sarah Khan. Iman Kesana. Marina Chang. Donji Liu. Priscilla Ortez. Rakia White. Toriana Nichols.
Okay, yes.
Darren Kose. Peter Adams. Miriam Susana Zavala. Ricardo Barajas.
Thank you so much.
Yoshiki Kaji. Sarah Ito. Akika Ichimaru. Freddy Cruz Orantes. Hiromu Sugaya. Julian Perez. Alice Capaccioli. Janice Cha-Yun Lee. Rebecca Maren Jacobson. Kimberly Fox. Aaron Chan. Michelle Mondong. April Joy Concepcion. Ayana Ignacio Mora. Kiza Aren. Erika Montes de Oca. Ksenia Anastasia Romanenko.
Yoon Soo John. Oscar Camacho. Jessica Cortez Perez. Leila Jihan Rashid. Zanel Iwan. Niching Truong. Hannah Young. Lorena Del Valle Lopez. Alondra Controla. Han Hee Yoon. Rebecca Sue. Carla Soto. Rama Hassan. Veronica Francesca Migoto Gulo. Sumita Sen. Morgan Galloway Zamora. Yuki Ma. Olivia Yancey. Roxana Landa Verde. Yuichi Asai. Yusel Victoria Sanchez Galicia. Ashley Mendez. Alexis Romero. Marvin Matamoros. This year, we are conferring degrees on 26 honors students. These students participated in a year-long honors course in which they conducted their own research projects and wrote up their findings in an honors thesis. Their instructors tell us these projects were fascinating and of high quality. Some have been encouraged to pursue publication of their work. Their thesis titles are listed in the graduation program. I would like to invite honors instructors, Professors Mary Kelsey and Lale Bebehanian, to join me to honor each student a gold honor cord for their accomplishments. Elias Nepa. Desha Patalat. Saifu Shu. Jay Mann. Janie Chen. Kaylani Venable. Jayu Feng. Michaela Sung. Samantha Green. Angel Valdez Ordóñez. Lily Janey. Skylar Bryn Pemberton. Phoebe Duvan. Ian Wong. Tommy Chung. Tunatio Beltran. Brenna Murray. Is Engel. Laura Wynn. Nadia Ghaffari. Mia Ndelugi. Yihan Lin. Erica Castaño. Esperanza Padilla.
Now for an age-old symbol of passage. When tasseled caps were standard academic apparel, undergraduates wore their tassels on the right, graduates wore them on the left. Bachelor's graduates, please put on your caps with the tassels on the right. Now, leaving your tassels on the right, stand and face your families, friends, and honored guests. Switch your tassels from right to left now. I present to you the fantastic class of 2022. And now, I turn the ceremony over to Lale Bebehanian, one of our most As you can see, she's one of our most beloved professors and recently was honored with a Distinguished Teaching Award from the Social Sciences Division. Lale will bring this momentous occasion to a close.
Thank you, Sibel. And thank you to all our speakers today, Christina Mora, Cindy Chen Tang, Martin Eierman, and Feng Su. So y'all, let me start by expressing really what an honor it is to be standing here to conclude these ceremonies today. You know, every graduation is a special occasion, but today is extra special because you all the class of 2022, have achieved something really exceptional. Not only have you exhibited all of the hard work and determination it takes to graduate from UC Berkeley, but you've done so under unprecedentedly difficult circumstances. The challenges of these past few years have been enormous, but through all of it, you have persevered and made it here today. You, the class of 2022, are truly extraordinary. So, today, all of us are gathered here to honor you. And for all of us in this room, for all your family and friends, for all the faculty and staff, you represent all that we work and strive for every day, and everything that gives us hope for the future. So we want to conclude this ceremony by taking a minute to acknowledge all those who have invested their labor and their love into you. And this includes, of course, our brilliant faculty of this department who are so devoted to teaching, And yes. And of course, our GSIs, our graduate student instructors, who play just a vital role in the educational mission of this university. We all come together to transform our classrooms into magical spaces where we dissect the problems of the world and seek out possibilities for a different, more humane and just future. But we must never take for granted that these magical spaces that we inhabit together exist inside of massive institutional bureaucracy. And their existence is only made possible by the work of all our amazing staff that help us navigate and maneuver that bureaucracy every day. And let me start particularly with our undergraduate advisors, Christina Rojas and Sang Saley. Christina and Sang deal with every crisis, concern, and challenge that arises for our students and personally watch over each and every one of them through their academic journeys. And Catherine Norton and Amy Ackick, who do the same for our graduate students, along with Carmen Privat-Gilman, who guides them with care through the process of getting jobs. And of course, Ann Myers, who oversees all of this as our Director of Student Services, which has been no easy task through the challenges of the past few years. And always right next to her and next to all of us is the great magician Rebecca Chavez, whose task of organizing curriculum and scheduling classes in the chaos of a university with hundreds of classrooms and thousands of courses would make anyone else's brain explode. And Aaron Du Bois, who maintains our computers. Holly Lee, who keeps our finances in order. John O'Donnell, who's just retired after many years of running our chair's office. And Tamar Young, who does just about a little of everything while keeping our department full of laughter. And of course, Michael Schneider, who manages our department with this incredible ability to somehow always transform chaos into calm. And finally, we cannot forget Christy Badola, who will soon be retiring after 27 years with us. Christy and her team, Jenny Cornet Carrillo, Shannon Buckley Shackley, and Bridget Lair, run our international program, bringing a rich diversity of students from all over the world into our classrooms and ensuring that the knowledge we share together here at UC Berkeley gets projected back with them all across the globe. All of us, all of the folks I've just named, we get up every day and we give our best, and we do so because we believe in you. Because we believe there is no greater mission than helping you, preparing you to go into the world and not only succeed in it, but succeed in changing it. And finally, and most crucially, there is no one who has invested more in you than your family and friends who have traveled to be here today. That's right. That's right. Your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, your aunties, your uncles, your godparents, all of those who are here today with us and those who can't be with us. You all are standing here today, graduating from one of the top universities in the world because of them. Because of them, because of their struggle, because of their determination to give you this education. And this is especially the case for all you first gens. Those of you who have fulfilled the dream of being the first in your families to graduate from college. So can all the first generation students please stand so that you and your families can be recognized for this enormous achievement? So let me now finally bring the ceremony to a close by speaking to all of you graduates on behalf of all of us who have gathered here to honor you. We are so deeply proud of you. We are so proud of the education you have attained. Now take that education out into the world and change it for the better. Come. Congratulations, class of 2022. So on that note, we now end this formal ceremony. But please join us for a reception with light refreshments right outside in Zellerbach Plaza. The faculty will now recess row by row through the two middle aisles. The graduates will follow after the faculty. Audience members, please remain seated until all of the graduates have left the auditorium.